And you're live.
Okay, welcome to House Education on February 28th, 2025. This morning, we are going to take a look at a mapping tool. So this is something that you're all going to be spending a lot of time with during our break. The mapping tool was put together by the Agency of Digital Services with guidance from Annie. And we're going to have it put up on the big screen here so everybody can see it, but the link is available on our web page. And kind of, you all can open it up and we will spend a little time walking through it and how it works and how it might be useful. I think this is probably going to be a great tool if we start moving into line drawing. So Annie, could I ask you to perhaps walk us through some of the functionality of it?
Yep. Do you want me to walk you through from here or up there?
Good. From there's fine.
Okey-dokey.
Is this a document? Sorry to interrupt. This is public and we could share this with people that might also be interested in looking at this?
Yeah, it's up on our website. so
Okay.
It's public.
Oh my God.
I often direct people to the website, how good it is to find things, and how easy it is to navigate.
Can you see it on the screen? Yes.
Yes.
All right. So.
You know something? Why don't you, so everybody can hear you, why don't you come join us? If you can you do it from a?
Yeah. So the map on the screen or on your screens, is an interactive tool made by GIS. Vermont has Vermont has the Center for Geographic Information, and they have lots of data sets with lots of maps. And they were able to take whatever data was sent to them and put them into this interactive tool for you to all use and visualize the schools around the state. So this is the page that will open up when you first click on the link. And then when you click on this drop down arrow in the top right of the map, you'll be able to see what type of layers you can turn on and off. When the eyeball is open, that means that you're able to see that layer. And if you want to see, if you don't want to see counties, you can turn it off. If I go back to the map here, you'll see that the counties are off, but you can still see lines and towns. You're also able to see terrain, so you can see where a mountain might be or where a valley might be. You're also able to turn on total population, so this includes population of all ages. You can filter on current existing school districts, and you'll be able to see, let me turn off population. You'll be able to see with this, the current school district lines.
Right, so
And
right now, we're looking at a map of Vermont.
Mhm.
We've got all the schools.
Mhm.
We've got all the school district lines.
And what is important to note is right now what you're seeing, these dots are all currently existing and functioning schools, but you can turn on only public schools
Mhm.
or you can turn on only independent schools. The Vermont Independent Schools Association has notified that the independent school data is not 100% accurate. There are some data inconsistencies, but this is a visualization tool, not a report. So you might click on an independent school and see an enrollment number. This is data that the Center for Geographic Information already had on independent schools. But I believe there is some discussion to fix that enrollment data wherever it might not be correct. So just keep that in mind if you're looking at independent schools. If you want to get rid of school districts and see the supervisory unions, you can also see those. You'll see that their borders are outlined in the gray. One thing about when you're looking at the school district layer is you'll see, oh, what happened? You will see these lines and these dots. That key is on the right here, and you can scroll down. Overlapping districts is meant to indicate when one school district simply just exists in the same geographic area as another school district. An example of this might be when you have a school district that is a middle school district on top of the high school district. Those two districts cover the same towns and the same students. And you might also see that those are districts in the same supervisory union. If you want to turn off school districts and you want to look at, say you want to look at the Superintendent's Association regions, remember these are the regions that are included in the proposal. You can see those here.
All right, that view, what you just had up was the governors.
Is there another region you'd like to see?
No, that's fine. I think maybe we'll walk through some scenarios.
You'll also be able to see, CTE regions are included, school boards association regions are included, the regional planning commissions are included. The regional planning commissions came from data that the center already had. CTE and school boards regions were added in. That data didn't already exist, so that was added in for this project. So that's how you can see different layers on the map. I think,
Is it functioning for everybody?
No, it's not functioning for me.
I think if you all close
Mine's
out, the Wi-Fi would be less strained.
Mine's working, it's just I have to keep moving that out of my way.
Because mine is now
Big desktop. place.
also a little bit slow.
I can't remember that. I haven't everything.
So let's see if we can diagnose this a little bit. You're having trouble and you're on an iPad.
Yeah, I haven't. Yeah.
Rob, you're on an iPad, so working for you.
I seem to be doing okay. I mean,
Okay,
I'm poking around here and not
I'm fine.
quite as adept as
It's
any,
fine.
but I'm trying.
No, I'm having issues.
You're the bar.
Your presenter is
you're
also
like-
having issues.
You're on a laptop, so.
Too many people.
All right, so just off of that,
Mhm.
Map Legend Schools enrollment. So I apologize. Figure this.
If you
Well, how do I
want,
get the layers? Oh, got it.
the layers are in the top right
Yeah.
drop down, and then it's the 3 squares layered on top of each other. If you all wanna X out of your tab, that would allow me to use the
Let's all
map
get
in the
it.
demonstration.
I'm out.
Done.
That's a question.
Yes,
Are these enrollment numbers current?
that is a great question. So let's go through, that depends on the school. Or on,
Well, so let's, if you think you've given us what we need to know,
I have not.
okay, keep going, and then we'll just start, playing with it.
So, that was a very good question. Are the enrollment numbers current? So if you look at the public schools, say you click on a random dot, and this dot pulls up U32. You'll
What a nice
see-
dot for you to have pulled up.
So you'll see that this indicates that this is for enrollment year
Oh, it
2022 to
tells you when it's-
2023.
Which is
Okay.
the most current that is available? Is that why it's that here?
That is what is available on the enrollment dashboard on the AOE website.
Thank you.
Okay.
And there are some inconsistencies in this data, but that's a reminder that this is a visualization
Right.
tool. This is not a
Mhm.
report. Right.
Mhm.
And you can also see when you click on the school, what grades they serve, whether it's public or independent. You can see the percentage change. This was taken from 2013 to data. That is also available on the same enrollment dashboard on the AOE website. So what the Center for Geographic Information did was they did the percentage change. Some of the schools will see a negative percentage change, and some of them might have a positive change for whatever reason. When you click on the school, you can also see the district and the supervisory union. The school buildings will also show whether or not it's been
Wow.
tested and the PCB result. And when I say tested, I mean tested for PCBs.
Yeah.
I will note, however, that the PCB category listed might not be correct, as that was not information sent to the center, but information they sorted through a program. So that's something that will be worked on during town meeting week to correct. You'll also be able to see when the main building was built, and that's information that's included in the facilities assessment, as well as the 5-year FCI. That is also information available in the facilities.
Who can say what FCI is?
It's facility condition index.
Index.
Which, for those of the, for the uninitiated, what does that indicate? So what's the FCI for U32?
It would be, 5%.
Sorry, what does the I stand for?
Facilities condition index.
Index.
And what would you like it to be? That's what I need to know is what's good.
That's a great
What's the
question.
number?
So let's look at the left side and look at the 5-year facility condition
geez.
index filter. So, when they reported FCIs in the facilities assessment, they also reported what might be good, positive, poor, or something to look out for. And you can read their reports to get more details on this. But you're able to see that this filters out by group of buildings that have FCIs of less than 10%, between 10 and 30%, 30 to 65%, and then buildings that have an FCI of 65% or higher might be buildings that have a lower building quality for when they were tested.
All right, so that says, FCI 5%?
So does that mean they're pretty good shape?
I believe that's what they.
No rats,
The
no
lower the
rats,
number, the better
no
off. I
mold.
believe, and then the higher the number, the.
As of when they were tested, reminder that the assessments were done in 2022.
So there could be rats now.
So when you click on the school, you see only the school data, but then if you go down to this arrow that says next, you're able to see the school district's data.
Okay.
For Washington Union Unified School District, which has a population per square mile of 54.2. This is data that was housed in the Center for Geographic Information. However, the FY 25 long-term ADM and the FY 25 final ed spending is data that was sent from the AOE to the Joint Fiscal Office for modeling for the Ways and Means Committee.
And that's not weighted, that's daily membership, not daily.
Well,
No,
that's
long-term-
education spending,
No, I mean,
Oh,
the one above
Long-term,
it.
that's current.
long-term daily average membership.
That's just the membership. That has no weights.
No,
long-term average, yes.
long-term average.
Student count,
That's not weighted.
right? That's
not
just
weighted.
student count,
Student
right?
count.
Right,
For
okay.
providing this data.
It doesn't say weighted.
That would
It's not the
be,
LD.
We need to make sure that that's true.
it has all been facilitated from public resources through,
Because it's your average.
I mean, to. the
Would you go back to the U32
Absolutely.
profile? And so the PCB thing, like, does that say 1,200 for,
Per meter cubic
yeah,
meter. I don't.
you
again,
know,
I don't
I think probably should have pulled those numbers off. I mean, that's a super troubling number. I don't think that's, they may have found that in one closet.
Yeah.
I
may
pulled
be
it
right.
from the main building results.
They're not.
These are numbers published by the DEC, the Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation.
Right,
Those
without,
are,
con-
those are
without
shut down the
context.
school numbers and they're just
Yeah.
running fans.
That's without context. Up here on the DEC website, it has context, right? You can go into it. Here you can.
Yeah.
Right,
Well.
Yeah, I'm just a little concerned. It's somewhat alarming.
mine
when it
popped up
doesn't need to be.
very high yesterday too, and we actually don't have remediation.
So-
I think knowing that it has been tested is probably good enough.
And it's not relevant to necessary, well,
I mean,
I
that,
don't know,
it can be found.
It
It
can
doesn't
be
need to
found.
be here.
at this point, for sure, when we're at that facility.
Couldn't that be more problematic if it seems like we're pulling the numbers because we think that they are alarming and they shouldn't be?
I don't think
It's
that
not
they're,
that.
that number 1,200 is a super high number. That's like
Uh-huh.
close the school down and
Close the school
pull
down.
all the kids out.
It's area.
And if that number exists at U32,
They would be.
it's gotta be in like a garage that is storing PCB filled oil.
Okay,
Because
It's misleading is the problem.
all right.
Those numbers probably, I don't even know if they're accurate, but I'm assuming they are accurate. They are not reflective of the current condition of the school and whether it can stay open or not.
Okay,
It's just not.
Kate needs her job.
It is important to know that they've been tested, for sure.
So when a school is part of multiple districts, you'll see that multiple data will show up in the data display.
when a school is part of multiple districts. Oh, you mean
Like
like
a district and an SU.
a district and an SU, got it.
Okay.
And why don't you pull one of those up?
Why don't you give me an example and I can show you a new way that you could find that school.
How about, North Country, a school up there is going to be a district and an SU.
Which school?
I just picked one of the,
but it's that
Jay
orange
Westfield.
Jay Westfield. So instead of zooming in, if you don't know the exact location, you can search for the school and it will zoom in.
Look at that.
And then you can click on the flashing blue dot. And you'll see that data come up.
So that's the best joint school.
So that's a school.
You built this, Annie?
The Center for Geographic Information had a lot of this data housed and was able to program this into the product that you see here. My part in this was facilitating public information and public data to their team.
Which is the biggest.
Mhm.
Thank you.
okay,
So maybe that
are we ready to play a little bit?
If you would like to.
Unless you have, well, if you have other things you need to show us.
There is one point, we are awaiting in data for towns. The town data that is anticipated, for the near future would be, as you already saw, you saw the population dots, but also student population
Mhm.
per town,
Right.
just the numbers, not their exact addresses
Mhm.
for confidentiality reasons.
Right.
The number of schools in each town, the list, like the names of those schools so that you can see, and also the grand list value, that's data that the joint fiscal office already has. And that was, that's data that will most likely be valuable to the House Ways and Means Committee.
Capacity.
The other things that you can do on this map is filter elementary versus middle, or K through 12 or CTE, and you can see all of these at once by clicking multiple checkboxes. I'd like to know that on an older version of this map, Lincoln Institute and St. J were included on the CTE filter. Currently, on this version, they seem to not be included. But that might be because I am filtering
By
for
public
public
schools.
schools. So think about that when you're looking for different schools, that if something's not showing up, it might be because your filter isn't allowing it to. So if I click all,
And then you
then
went
I
to-
do CTEs, then you'll see that Linden Institute and St. James
Oh,
show up.
Got it.
Yes. So now that I have all schools on, and I can see every elementary, every middle, every secondary, every K through 12. I can also look for schools that have a K-12 enrollment of less than 100.
Wow.
Or,
Ooh.
and reminder, this is a visualization tool. Some of these might not be correct. I'd also like to note that the data that was sent to the center included exact numbers. The categorization was not sent to them. So this is something that I assume was put into a program for them to categorize, and it can be refined over town meeting week if you wish it to be.
Oh, that's both independent and.
This is
public.
both independent and public. Would you like to see just
Just
public?
public.
All right.
Driven.
So I've toggled those on. And now you can see enrollments
That's
of
shipping.
249 or less. Or you can see just between 100 and 249.
Can you go back to the less than
Yeah.
100 for a second?
Absolutely.
So I'm looking at that and I'm looking at my county in the Northeast Kingdom and I'm trying to think that doesn't, I'm sure it's accurate. It seems my knee-jerk reaction is that's inaccurate because I can name our high schools, but that must include all of the like sort of high school, you know, the behavior of Buffalo Mountain and
I don't know,
like,
if you hover on the dot, does it tell you? who it
yeah,
is?
can you click on some of those top most northern ones? What schools are they talking about?
This is only public.
So
It's
Albany,
This is
Barton,
public
Brownington.
schools.
Oh, I thought this
Glover.
was, it's K through 12. I thought it was 9 through 12.
No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You could do that.
Could we do 9 through
Yeah,
12?
let's do the small high schools. Absolutely.
That's what I was thinking, is we were looking at
Do
small
you want
high.
secondary
Yeah.
and K through 12?
Just secondary.
Public, secondary, less than 100, none.
Okay,
I see.
so I was confused. I was
So
thinking.
go
that.
middle high.
Let's,
That can't be
right,
right.
so let's,
Middle high.
let's
Most of them
go to
are
enrollment.
small.
Enrollment.
So are we now saying that there are no high schools under 100?
That's what we're saying.
9,
9 through
9
12,
through 12.
less than,
Less
less
than
than 100.
No public schools.
Public, 9
But
through
that's
12.
Now,
public.
also note that in the official language that defines elementary versus secondary has elementary as serving grades below, like reaching and below 6, and secondary as 7 and above. Middle schools don't have an exact definition.
Right.
So for the purpose of this map, middle schools, the middle school filter will show schools that serve somewhere between 6 and 8, but don't have students starting their education there or graduating
It could be
from their
just
public
7
education
and
there.
8, 6.
It could be 7, 8, 6,
So
7, 8.
does that mean that when you
It's
do
not
secondary, it is including?
It might include schools that go 6 through 12, 7 through 12,
But it's not.
but it doesn't include schools that are K through 12.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I think it would be great to refine it to know, if possible, have a category that is strictly 9 through 12.
Absolutely can
Because,
do.
you know, one of the things that we talk about with, our school size, we talk about high school size.
Right.
So, while I want to wait till you write that down, but the secondary category here is middle and high together.
It depends on the school. If they're a school that serves 7 through 12, then yes.
And if they serve 6 through 12,
I
yes.
saw a couple.
But if they serve 5 through 12, not necessarily. Because you said it started at 6.
I did see some of the middle school ones say 5 through.
Yeah, my high school didn't pop up under.
Under
this.
secondary.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not sure what you had, but I
So,
know.
well, let's do,
Yeah.
let's go to secondary and, the next level up of enrollment.
Okay, it showed,
So this
shows my
has no
map.
enrollment category right now.
yeah, that's
What do you mean?
So you haven't
Like
filtered
for
category.
Yeah, so let's filter bird, 100 to 250.
Okay, so that would be high schools that are below 250 in enrollment. And this is FY '23 enrollment.
Got
And
it.
remember that some of these enrollment numbers might
You might have
be
changed.
estimates. Not estimates,
So
but might
Twin
be a
Valley
little
is
bit
showing
rough.
in my.
Liam,
county,
what
and
grades
that's
do you
correct.
have at your school?
Yeah, but like, where's
Is
Cabot,
it 7, 12,
Twinfield,
7 through
and
12, and we
Danville?
are like above
They're
250,
above,
but less.
they're
than
above
300.
250, 249 probably. Click the next one up and I bet you'll see it show up there.
If you want to
Does it?
see a specific
So I bet
school,
that one's Hazen right there, that will.
if you want to see a specific school, I recommend not
Just
putting
look at-
enrollment filters
Yeah.
on.
Just like.
Yeah.
a school.
As you can't guarantee what the enrollment of the school is off of,
Got it.
So that
We're
if
just
we
trying
were
to figure it
if
out.
we were to pick, Cabot K-12 or Danville K-12 or Twinfield K-12,
you can search all of these up in the search bar as well.
yeah, so let's pull one of those up.
Cabot.
Let's do
Hazen.
Cabot.
Hazen.
Let's do Cabot.
From Cabot.
Was the decision to do Cabot or?
Yeah, let's do Cabot.
There we go. Cabot's a K through 12, that's why it wasn't showing up.
Okay,
Ah.
so now can we get their high school enrollment currently in any way, shape or form on this?
No, but if that's a request you'd like to add, that can be,
By
Yeah.
grade level?
I think it'd be great to know 9 through 12
Do you want-
populations,
In the
by
K to 12.
grade
There's a
level
difference.
or by?
By grade level or by 9 through 12?
9 through 12.
Would you like to do the 9 through 12 or the statutory 7 through 12?
9 through 12. So I think it would be good to know what high
buildings.
schools are graduating small numbers of kids so that we can say. Are
If we
they,
have 4 small high schools, let's make one big one right here and they can all go to that.
Can I ask another question about schools like this? It's a question for you. Does it show building capacity?
Building
Oh,
capacity
yeah.
is data that it is not measured right. The school facilities assessment included measurement of square footage. But that has been noted as not the most precise way to measure capacity.
Right.
Because the square footage includes things like closets.
So does the AOE keep track in any form of the school capacity? I mean, I know the capacity of mine, but they don't.
I don't think so.
I mean, there's so many factors, like you'd have to weigh in
I understand.
classrooms.
I'm doing
and-
buildings proper,
Yeah.
but just, thank you.
So just to go, my brain got stuck on the FCIs when I was looking up the FCIs on the website. To go back and get some clarification on the percentages. The PowerPoint that was released for the facility assessment, it says, so 0 to 5% is in new or well maintained condition with little or no visual evidence of wear or deficiencies. 5 through 10% subjected to wear, but is still in a serviceable and functioning condition. 10 to 30% subjected to hard or long-term wear nearing the end of its useful or serviceable life. So when you're looking at a 10 to 30% being ending close to end, I just
Yeah.
wanted to quantify that for everybody that,
Could that, key be
That's
put
a big
into
thing,
this?
Yeah.
and 30% and above has reached the end of its useful or serviceable life. Renewal is now necessary.
We need,
And that's the,
could you send that,
How many of
that
those
to
are?
Annie?
yeah.
I heard of that.
Would you like me to also, get clarity from the, AOE school facilities manager? Because there are different categories on that slideshow versus what other things have displayed.
I would say whatever
Yeah,
the AOE person says.
yeah, I would say, yeah, whatever, Bob. But just kind of when I'm seeing 10 to 30% is that
Yeah,
much of a.
Yeah,
you're all
it's a big
done.
deal.
Yeah,
I
I'm
heard
very
Woodstock
curious
must be
to know
like
how many are
7%
in
or
that
something, right?
category.
Well.
Wasn't Woodstock
you're
like the
curious
worst
about
on the
that?
list?
You
There
can
it
find
is.
that.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I read that Digger like months ago.
Public schools, you'd wanna check all the things, not just the K-12, so, right?
Yes. well, I'm talking
So
about
one
schools.
thing, one way you can see everything is simply by not checking anything.
Right.
Right.
So PCB levels are here, FCIs are here.
Okay, so the 10 to 30 is what you want to look at? Or above that?
Both.
Above 10 to 30?
I think that's the one that is, that's non-CERS, it's at the
Right.
end of its life.
10 and
It needs
above.
to be replaced.
Now,
So let's just see how many there are of those.
something to note on this as well is that for FCIs and PCBs, Burlington High School and Winooski High School are missing. They're missing that data because Winooski had major construction after the after the facilities assessment. And Burlington High School was not servicing students during the FC.
They were both.
They were in
facility
Macy's.
assessment.
By the end of whatever, they'll both be brand new.
Shoot the ball.
At the mall. That's awesome.
But
I always, I
North
always wanted
Country
the
isn't
escalator.
on there, am I right? Or is?
Well,
I'm
we're in the
jealous.
30
This
to
is
60.
FCIs.
Right,
So we have to go to the 10.
We're looking at
Okay.
FCIs. If
okay,
you wanna
we're looking at,
see,
no, I want to.
All right, so, could you click on some of those, dots and so let's see who they are?
yes.
The otters.
And their FCI is, I can't see, she's like
60.
happy creatures.
60,
What is their FCI?
60%.
Oops.
You need to
All right.
And they
evacuate
have them then
now.
tested for
And
PCBs.
they don't. And they were built in 65.
So let's do another one. Do
I was
Woodstock.
built in 64.
Woodstock is yay or yay?
No,
I think the
you have
first
it.
one you had,
They're.
that one right there.
That's Woodstock. Built in
37%.
58,
Oh.
and it's 37%. Not tested. Are they too old to have been tested? What's the, is it just anything before a certain date or is there a range?
Oh, it was
PCBs
They might
Yeah.
have been too old.
before 80.
It's just anything before 80?
thought there was
Down
a-
down to
Yeah.
like the 50s.
I was gonna say, I thought there was a
Yeah.
bottom range too.
Yeah. Oh, 37, that's nothing. They can be there for a couple more years.
Barton
Jigger
Grading
made it
School was
sound like
built
they
in
were falling down.
1907, is that why
Bigger
we don't?
than that. Woodstock.
Pretty much that's why you don't need
It's,
to.
it's, you know, they feel like their school at that point.
Right, but they've been trying to
Challenges.
do the bond thing, but
Well-
there's that whole thing about the spending thing, like penalty.
I understand,
Excess
but they've
spending.
done facilities.
All right, so would you just,
They were
for the
concerned
sake
about their-
of lines, would you show us what each of the layers that we have available to us to plop on there to look at lines?
Absolutely.
So we go to,
So I'm going to unclick the filters.
Mhm.
yeah, that's something you gotta remember to do all the time.
Mhm. So,
It'd be nice if there was like a reset button that would unclick all the buttons.
okie dokie.
Oh, listen, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
The feedback is
Clear all
flowing into
filters.
her.
They're all filters.
Annie, you're amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a
I'm pretty
pretty cool, I
impressed
can't
here.
spell filters, right?
Doesn't matter
Yeah,
what.
uncheck
Okay, you
boxes.
know what it means.
But
All right, so under reference layers for now, the format of the layers, the sorting here is going to change. It will change as the map continues to evolve. This is a reminder that this isn't ever going tool
Right.
for
Yes.
you. This is not set in stone. All of this can be changed upon request. So you can turn on and off terrain. You can turn on and off total population. And just for visualization right now, I'll turn off the school filter. But you can see
Oh,
total Vermont population. Again,
Wow.
this is information that the center of information already had,
Yeah.
but may not be 100% accurate. It gives a visual idea. You can turn on or off the state border. You just saw the green line fade. You can turn counties on and off. You can see towns. You can turn roads on and off. So you'll see that when you zoom closer into the map, wherever you go, more town roads show up. When you're really zoomed out, that visual might clutter
Right.
the screen. But you can zoom in and see those details. So that's for reference layers for now. And then under school districts, you can see the school district lines. And for this, I'm going to turn off population and counties just for the visuals. You can see all the school districts. And you can see supervisory unions. I have noticed that trying to see supervisory unions and school districts at the same time can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Especially when you have more layers than that on the map. Because remember, school districts are inside supervisory unions. You can turn off the lines and dots that say when something overlaps,
Non-contiguous district.
non-contiguous,
We have a couple of those.
yes.
You do not have the VSBA lines.
We're getting there.
Oh, okay. I
So
saw superintendent, so I didn't.
turning off school districts and keeping on supervisory unions, you have the superintendent's region. And you can also turn on the VSBA
Other
regions.
boundaries of it.
So again, the organization of these layers will change. Let's
What is
see if we turn off supervisory unions and we keep the school boards regions on. this is what we see. And as I've said, this is a work in progress, so the title for this region is not currently on there.
All
but
right, so let me
everyone
ask you
has
this.
kingdom stuff.
So here we have that.
Please keep it me.
What would happen if we were now to overlay SUs, SDs? Just as kind of a check to see if there's any coloring outside the lines.
And are SUs and SDs separate on there or are they?
Mhm, They are
as one?
separate because SDs are,
They should be, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to clarify.
Well, okay, let's just do SUs.
this is SUs. SDs are not turned on right now.
Okay, but I want to do it with, and do we have the lines up there for the
VSBA,
SBA
Yep.
with it? All right, so let's take off the SBA. And let's do county lines on top of school districts or supervisory units.
county lines are the dotted lines.
So we can see
Where they cut.
the county lines are chopping up.
Across
Right.
So
supervisory
SDs.
unions. SUs, she's. got
SUs, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they kind of go right through.
Welcome.
Mhm.
We knew.
You also have, CTE regions. And you have the regional planning commissions. That was a request for the Ways and Means Committee.
Yeah.
Let's put CTE regions over
30?
SUs.
Yeah.
CTE
And take off
and
the
SUs.
school boards.
Would you like to turn off counties?
Turn off counties,
Sure.
yep. Turn off, I think VSBA is out there anyway, yeah.
So now we're looking at, what are we looking at now?
CTEs
and
over,
SUs.
and then we don't see any lines that are,
I can't tell.
And the CTEs are, how do we see?
There are no lines crossing through.
Can you go down to the southeast? Just for.
and so the dark gray is probably the CTE line.
That's the great thing. You can always turn something off and just double check what it looks like without the extra filter. So CTE, it has these thicker gray lines. And then, not school districts. Supervisory unions are little blocks inside those gray lines.
All right, so I think this means is that, those of us who want to get our lines drawn before this bill leaves the house have to come in, next week with their map, or you can't print yet, right? Can we save a version? So we can only play with it.
This
Screenshot.
is only.
That's right, screenshot.
If there's something you would like to visually model, that would be a possibility if you're able to decide, that you want to model a new set of districts based on towns that exist. That can be visualized in this map, given a day or two. If you want to visualize new district lines based on districts that currently exist, that can be done, or SUs that currently exist, that can be done, or CTE, any lines that currently exist here, if you'd like to use those to guide whatever districts that you want to think of or consider, given a couple days' notice, that can be visualized in this map.
So this is just a quick question. This up here is CTEs and supervisory unions, correct?
Yes,
So within this map, it's clear from looking at this that any nuances, we all know there's nuances, won't show up on here because this is just strictly those specific boundaries and I'm gonna describe what a nuance is. My understanding is, and they will correct me if I'm wrong, but Wyndham Northeast Supervisory Union students can choose whether to go to the district that they're assigned to on here, CTE, or the one above them, which is, Springfield.
Any programmatic details like that will not be in this map.
Got it. So,
Right,
and that's
but they're-
fine. I'm
But they
not,
are part of a CTE region.
they,
They are within a CTE.
and I don't know what the choose is.
Yeah.
What, I mean, maybe every student in that SU goes to Springfield for all I know, even though they're assigned south. All I'm trying to say is that there are those nuances within, and I don't know whether it's official. I don't know whether it's unofficial. I just know I've known because I live down there that kids get to choose. So there may be variances that we'll never be able to see on this map, and I just want to, I just use that
Right.
one example.
Yeah, no, I would say, I would describe this as pretty damn good.
Yeah,
but
pretty.
It does not have everything we could want at all times, for sure.
And I guess I'm trying to say that only because as we're trying to move forward, that's the pushback we're gonna get. Wait a minute, you didn't take into account,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
absolutely.
So I just want us to be aware of the challenges around us. And this is amazing, I gotta say. I can't believe how much it's showing us.
So people are gonna start coming up with their own maps.
Yeah,
We've
they
got, Senator Bongart's with his. How, if we said, we wanna lay that map in, how easy is that for the folks at GIS to do? Since they probably did his map
The-
anyway.
Map that was introduced by Senator Bongard.
Yeah.
If Senator Bongart's map does not split town lines, that would be easy to bring in. Just create a spreadsheet of all of the towns, which already exists.
Yeah.
And then put in one column what proposed district they belong to, and then the center is able to program that into a visualization on a map.
And for all I know, GIS did the map, so they might be able to just hit a couple of keystrokes.
Possible.
Mhm.
If Senator Bongart's map is sorted by existing school districts,
It is.
it can be done that way as well.
Yeah.
Instead of saying this town belongs to
That's
Right.
proposed district A, you would say this FY 25 school district exists to this proposed school district.
I would say there's something on this map though about independent. It's not strictly SUs though, is it?
He
There's
has,
two different maps.
Yeah.
Oh, now there are two
He has
maps.
two, he
Well,
has
he's
two
got-
maps.
He's got the map with all the districts, but then he's got a map that deals with independent schools.
Like
Yeah.
separately.
He's got a second one.
That shows that. right?
I haven't examined it closely, but.
It's within
Actually
the
pretty
bigger
good.
map, but it's
Oh.
a map that kind of defines that.
Okay, let's take,